Good morning, everyone. We are out on another ride. Crystal blue sky, just opposite way to the little camp. Morning, everyone. Morning, Ray. And the elephant's been incredibly active around camp last night, and we heard one trumpeting this morning at about 6:15, and then it all went quiet. So now it's 8:30. We're taking it easy during this time. Usually we would be on the horse already for at least a good hour. So now we're just moving upstream the Makutsi River and see whether we can catch up with them. Beautiful sycamore fig tree here in front of us. And there's a bushbuck. There you can see Camp 3. We've got 4 of those. This is the biggest one, the other ones are a bit smaller. There he goes. And there's some young waterbuck in front of us. Yeah. Down here, Simi, come on. Focus, come, look. Yes. There you go, good boy. Good boy. Yeah, inside this side of the reserve, we've got about 20 kilometers of this river. There's 4 other smaller rivers in this reserve, and as we come out of hopefully come out of a 5-year drought period, this river sometimes carries water all year round, although at different levels, of course. And at the moment, you can see there's some elephant diggings, but they're too old. But in any case, when the elephants are digging into the river, it's maybe 50, 60 centimeters until they hit the water. So the water is here, it's just under the sand. But you can imagine what this looks like when there's heavy rain. And we are right in the middle of the riverbed, and this is flowing quite rapidly. There you see it's still moist. There you see, there's the water. And the elephants love it because, of course, it's filtered, fresh and clean. Okay, I'm gonna switch off here for a moment, and when we start hearing those elephants, I switch on and show you some more. Ray just thought he heard an elephant breaking a branch. But it can be anything else because we're in this thicker stuff now and very close to that forest here on our left. And of course other animals can make noises with the branches as well. We, by the way, just saw 3 cane rats, which I find quite exciting because I haven't seen a cane rat in a long time. We have such a high leopard population here, and they are like a amuse-gueule for any leopard that is proud of himself. But however, when we came here over 20 years ago, the environment was not as healthy as it is now, and the cane rats were obviously having an advantage of that lack of predation. Anyway, back to the elephant track. We hope we're getting closer. Have to be a little bit careful in these reeds as well because we just came across fresh buffalo dung, and as placid as you've seen our buffaloes in recent videos, you still don't want to step on one's tail in these thick reeds. Beautiful. This looks like Tarzan and Jane are living here. Yeah, we are in a different riverbed. This is one of the other 4 riverbeds I was talking about earlier that is rarely leading water, only when we really have heavy rain. But of course you can see these rocks here, and there's some lower spots in the river here which holds puddles of water for longer, but we just didn't have enough rain this year. So although we've been lucky, we had last year and this season we had maybe a third of our annual rainfall, but the pattern was much better. So instead of having 3-4 heavy thunderstorms, we had many nights with rain where we got like 25 and 30 and 35 millimeters, and that is perfect for the grass, and that's why the grass cover looks better than what the total rainfall figures would suggest. So I think we're going to get through this winter quite well. And the temperatures at night are already getting quite chilly, so it makes me happy because according to the old people, cold winter means good rain. So now I'm stuck. Hang on. No, I'll get through here, but I'll get through. There we go. A little bit of rock climbing. Beautiful mountain view today again. Just lovely. Yeah, this is really thick stuff. Of course, there was a bushbuck. I hope you all saw that. And of course, you're running a much higher risk of bumping into something with teeth and claws or horns or just a general bad attitude. But it's nevertheless so pretty. And if something's in here that might cause you any harm, you'll find out soon enough. Let's get around this tree here. Short little canter through the grass. And there we go.
Did you swim?
We call that water ballet. Yeah, stunning light. No really fresh rhino tracks yet, but there was this little waterhole that we just crossed, and then there's another one 150 meters in front of us, and there's a little plain here where sometimes if a rhino is around likes to have a little snooze, but there's nothing now. Fittingly, these plants are called mother-in-law's tongue. Wonder why? Another quick shoot. Okay. Quickly check the next waterhole here, around the corner. Well, there aren't really corners in the bush. Around the bend, maybe better. Yeah. Kind of fresh, but not really steaming. Anything up there, eh? Nine. Well, there was two here, a cow and a calf. There we go. Right up here. Zit. Come, come. Okay, that track is at least 2 hours old. But remember what I explained to you last time, that this time of the day they'll go for sleep, and while they do that, we follow the track and inevitably catch up. So I'll quickly switch off now and focus on the tracking a bit, and I'll see you in 20 minutes or so. Bye. Another beautiful area we're riding through. I haven't been here in a while actually, but the tracks of that rhino cow and calf led into this block. I'm not on it now, I actually lost it. But we're just going along this ridge and hopefully either come across it again or just enjoy this beautiful scenery. We're still moving southwest away from White Little Base, probably about 8 kilometers from here. So we give this another 20 minutes or so before we have to start going back. It's 10:15 now. Just wonder while we're here, maybe talk a bit about that lion sighting that we had yesterday, that we filmed for episode 7. You could see that this lion was pretty much unfazed by the presence of the horse. Of course, he knew long before that we were coming because he heard us. But usually, lions that are completely new to horses, they would probably, if you approach them like we did, would probably even run away. But you never know. If it's more than one lion, some of them might actually stay and try to ambush you. But as they start to get to know that you walk through the territory on a more regular basis, they will definitely sooner or later start to do something and will see you as a food source. So now it's quite important that you don't let them get you. And there's, of course, various ways of doing that. But the best one is really to take it in very, very, very small steps, because you don't want to overdo it and be a cowboy and chase them around, because then from being a potential food source, you become a threat to them. And when you one day ride into a lioness with newborn cubs, she's not going to take your approach lightly, because she already has learned that you are actually a threat. So you want to be just between those two positions of the lion's brain switch. So no food, no threat. And it's quite interesting that it takes the lions quite some time to learn that, but when they do, they actually are the ones realizing that you are basically looking for them. And you can, the day that happens, you can actually almost see it in their faces, that the realization that you are not food and no threat, but you are coming to look for them. It's quite interesting. And as long as you don't change the way you've been doing things before, you can actually maintain that. Just don't become complacent and start changing things, because these lions, they don't become your friends. They just have given up hunting you because they don't want to waste energy. They're very opportunistic animals. And of course, in the area of operation, of your operation, from wherever where you have your stables and ride out, lions being territorial animals, you will be in a more regular contact with the resident lions that are around your base than with any other lion. So of course, sooner or later, you will be able to habituate, which doesn't mean taming them. You're habituating them to the presence of the horses. Anyway, just a short sideliner to explain a little bit better why this 9-year-old male lion was so cool. It's still a lion though. You're riding over an area of 35,000 hectares. That's 350 square kilometers, or roughly 170 square miles, I think. And we usually have an average of about 40 lions in our area. So on 350 square kilometers with 40 lions, needless to say, I cannot habituate 40 lions all the time. But what I can do is I can get my horses used to those lions that I have been working with on a more regular basis, because my horse then doesn't know the difference between that lion and another lion. And that confuses if you want to use that word, wilder lion, confuses that wilder line even more. So they actually, once you're in that position, they actually become easier to work with than your habituated line, interestingly enough. We are on a short outride this morning because Craig, our farrier, is with us, checking on the horses and shoeing. So I'm not going to do too much filming this morning, just like a little bit of footage on the side and see what we can do with it later. In this dry riverbed there was a lot of rhino activity, mostly from a cow with a calf. A couple of years ago, a lioness had her young lioness had her first cubs right here in front of me in this bush. There's a little gully. That's where the lion den was. Here. I remember that very well because we were the lucky ones on a horse ride that saw those cubs first, and no one knew they were here. It's just by chance. So as we're coming around this corner here, is one of our biggest dams. We know of a couple of really big crocodiles that are in here. Oh, there's one. That's not really big. Okay, that's a young crocodile. Yeah, there's two. There's two big ones, three big ones. We can go on the other side and poke their nose with. There's three big crocodiles on the other side. Yeah. There's one, huh? There's one hippo stalking us here, a youngster. See it? Hello. Got a fright from its own courage. There's another one over there.
He's slowly moving to the front now.
Is that one on the far left? Is that one or is that a log?
That's on the far left.
Yeah.
There is one, yeah, in front of that big log.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big crocodile. 1, 2, 3.
Dark shape before.
Yeah, that youngster is. Those are different hippos to the one you saw on the other footage a couple of days ago. Totally different. Look, all these youngsters are getting very curious. Sweet. It was probably such a boring morning for them that they're happy to see us. There's one gonna come up right in front of us, I think.
Decent sized crocodile. Yes. Check out the cruising the crocodile. You see him there, see? A decent sized crocodile.
Lovely. Yeah, Ray, there's a crocodiles coming from across here. So besides of the hippos, there is one crocodile also trying to stalk us. Yeah.
Crocodile, you aimed way back there. So the moment you put your head down, he's going to come up.
Yeah.
Make
Oh
it
yeah.
jump,
No, he will grab a horse. Yeah.
your nice pale shirt.
Quite a cool thing.
The crocodile got bored. Yeah, this hippo here in front of us cannot decide whether it wants to be just curious or actually insulted by us standing here. There you go. Yeah, this really is a beautiful spot. Shall we go and have a look at those crocs? So Alistair, you're looking forward to meeting your first 3.5 meter croc here? Go ahead. Laughing hippo. Let's go in. Ah, that's a big crocodile. Ew.
Can come a bit closer to the reef behind Philip, yeah? Don't go too close. Over the top, the bigger one at the base.
There's another one lying just over there. They open their mouth to regulate the temperature. Another interesting thing about crocodiles is that they never stop growing. As long as they live and eat, they keep on growing. So you basically never get a fully grown crocodile. Dumba is obviously not very impressed by this. He's more impressed by the fodder that he finds here. So are the other guys, by the way. Yeah, theoretically, these crocodiles are so quick that it would be no problem for this thing here to grab my horse by the neck or by the leg. But they prefer to attack their prey from the water and then drag it in, and not really on land. So I think we are quite safe here. What?
This is smaller, this one, than the one that was.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the biggest one is the one there in the back.
Yeah, I think we're just going to see if we can walk around without disturbing the big one at the back. We can have another little peek at the back.
Yeah.
We leave them to enjoy the rest of the late morning.
You see, this crocodile knows that it's now it's getting intimidated a bit. I don't know whether you can hear this. If we're going past there, you need to go as high as possible, okay? Because the animal gets a little bit agitated. That's going to be okay. Yeah, just try to get a higher line than Ray has, yeah? Yeah, perfect. So we leave this guy alone now and try to have a look at another one that I think is even bigger. Yeah. Oh, look at that fat guy. They call them flat dogs for nothing. You would think it's dead, huh? But trust me, it's not dead. It's just waiting for me to be more stupid than I already am. Okay. So for a little short outing in the morning, this turned into a very interesting ride. Let's see whether anything else comes up on our way back. Bye bye, Mr. Crocodile. Okay, it's now actually 45 minutes later. We were trekking home for quite some time, going easy. And now we're arriving back at that one dam where we saw the hippos out of the water the other day. And I can see the shiny wet skin there far in the distance. Yeah, some water bug in the front. Can you see that crocodile where that was the last time? Those bubbles here come from the feet hitting the ground, the mud, and the gas that's in the mud bubbles up to the surface. So when you follow those bubbles, you always know which way the hippos are going, because they're actually not very good swimmers. When they want to move while in the water from one spot to another, they actually sink to the ground and then they run over the ground and then surface wherever they want to be. Okay, you all have seen this dam before, but I'm going to switch off now and we're going to head home, and then I'll see you again over there. Unless we find the elephants in between, then of course I'll speak to you sooner. Here is a little crocodile, probably about 1.10 meters. See what I can get a better shot from here. Yeah, this crocodile is now really confused because it knows we're big. Or it is far too small to do anything. And now what? Yeah, these hippos, we saw them at the exact same spot just 2 days ago. I'm sure they're Germans. They come here at 6 in the morning and put their towels down. I'm allowed to say that I'm German myself. Of course, this area has got lots of big and small dams and waterholes and pans, but because of the way we've been moving the last couple of days, we saw, or we came across this dam a bit more regular than usual. It's because of the movement of the ellies. I'm sure in the course of the next few videos you'll see some other big dams with different views that we have, and of course there will also be most likely hippos in it. These nests up here are made by buffalo weavers. That's the biggest weaver bird, and they don't make these beautiful knotted ball-style nests that are hanging from the branches. They just stick a bunch of twigs together and breed in there as a colony. Okay, let me just switch off for a while. Shall we move a bit? Yeah, and a little word about the horse I'm riding today. This is Sammy. He's my lead horse, and he was Rusty's and now also Ray's lead horse. But my old lead horse since, I remember, like 2011 something. He's a Frisian cross Cel Francais, and he comes from a breeder who apparently was breeding horses for the equine units of the police and the military. That's what I heard. And he's from day one. When he came here, he was 2.5 years old, and from day one he was an absolute gem. I mean, you can ride this horse in Jurassic Park. It's unbelievable. He's not the fastest racehorse though, but he's extremely steady and reliable, and is really loving it out here. So after all those years, he got another nickname, and that is the Professor. All right. All right, maybe we find some eddies later on the way back. Otherwise, I'll give you the goodbye when we arrive at Wait a Little. Almost home, but this is just too pretty to not quickly catch for you. And also, oh, she's got a bit of a sore leg at this cow here. Yeah, but she'll be all right. Yeah, it's a lot of giraffe. There's in front of Ray, there's a big bull. We just go through here quickly. Oh, sorry, my fault. Yeah, Ray, go. Just go past that big bull. That giraffe bull. There you go. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. but I think there's limits. Look at them. The one in the back is the boar. You can see he's got 4 warts, 2 big ones just under his ears and 2 on the side of his nose. The females only have got 2 warts, but 2 or 4 doesn't make them prettier really, but they're sweet. They're kind of funny looking. Okay. Gee, excuse me everyone. There was the sun. I was caught right on the inside of my sunglasses, and it always makes me sneeze. There was the Ellies. Yeah, as you can see in all those episodes that we filmed for you, whenever there's a chance for elephants, we go for that, or we try to, because we don't believe that you can have an overdose of elephant, unless you get charged by one though. But they're just such amazing creatures to be around with. Shall we have a look at that bend where the water's still standing there? The one walking there on the left was even still dripping water from the trunk, right? Still wet.
Yeah.
See those trees up there? Maybe they're under there. Let's go around and then shoot up. I didn't see so many tracks really crossing, did you?
No, going back up onto the northern bank.
Yeah, well, that's not back. They never came from there. There you go. This is easier. There you go. Okay, here we come out of the river, just behind Camp. No, what? Just behind Camp 4. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was our morning. Beautiful ride. Partly successful. Meaning we found a lot of fresh tracks. Anyway. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Can't have lions every day. Alright, cheerio. Keep well, and I'll see you around. Bye.